We're looking at question 92 on the AP midterm review packet. In this one, we're told the scenario is insert tab A into slot B. Now, the second sentence gives us everything we really need, and that is the shape, the center, and the spread for tab A and for slot B. So I can actually outline that entire second sentence as tab A has a shape that is normal, it has a center of 30 and a standard deviation of 0.5. It has, for slot B, a shape that is also normal, a mean of 32, and a spread of 0.8. So that's the information I'm given in that second sentence. So that's not too bad. Now what we're asked to do is we're trying to find the probability that tab A will not fit into slot B. That's what we're looking for here. In other words, we want to find the probability that A is larger than B, or a better way of thinking of it is B is smaller than A. Now the reason why I'm saying it that way is because if I'm going to table A, I need to think about area to the left because that's what table A gives me. So I'm thinking smaller because that's stuff that deals with less than. So that's what I'm looking for here. So what I'm really dealing with is I'm looking for the difference. I want B minus A to be a negative number since B is supposed to be smaller than A. So the difference, I'm going to define D, that variable, as B minus A. So therefore, I want to find the probability that D is less than 0. I want to see the difference to be negative. That's what I'm looking for here. So I'm dealing with a, looks like, combination here. I'm combining the data from tab A with the data from slot B. And so I'm going to have to be dealing with, okay, how do I combine my means? How do I combine my standard deviations? And that is wrong because I do not combine standard deviations. I combine variances and then find the standard deviation. So that is the key here. So here's what we're looking at. If we're dealing with difference, we are going to take our means for B and A and we're going to subtract them. We're going to do it based on the order that is there, B minus A. Now for variances, even though I'm subtracting, we always combine by addition with our variances. So I'm going to find the variance of B, the variance of A, add them together, then square root that to get my standard deviation. And so if I look at this, here's what we have. We have a center of 32 minus 30 for B and A, so we have a mu of the differences is going to be 2. If I combine my variances, I'm going to get 0.89. If I square root that to get the standard deviation, I'm going to get 0.94. Now here's why that is important to us, because what we're really dealing with now is we have, when we combine them, we have a normal distribution, a center of 2, and a standard deviation of 0.94. So I know the shape, the center, and the spread. I'm going to visualize this. And so if I visualize it, and I do have already the area shaded for us on what we're trying to find, I have that information. But if I want to find that, and I'm dealing with normal, I want to find what is that value. What is it that's going to give us our proportion? And so we're looking at this, and what I'm thinking is we need to find z-scores. So you can see here I have my z-scores already set up. Remember, z-scores are what you observe minus what you expected, the statistic minus the parameter over the standard deviation of the statistic. So if I have this, I'm going to take what I observed. I'm observing, I want to know 0 because I want less than 0 minus the center, which was 2, and our standard deviation was 0.94. And in that case, I get negative 2.134, which you can see then why I have the shaded region where I do over here on the side. This has a z-score of negative 2.13. So I want to find the area to the left of that. So that's not too bad because when I can do that is I can go to table A. Now if I go to table A, I have all the information I need. Negative 2.13. And so if I find those pieces of information and I highlight them, I'm going to get about 0.0166. So there's the area to the left. Because remember, table A gives you area to the left. We are good. So the probability that your difference is less than 0 is the probability of your z-score being less than negative 2.13, which is 0.167. So that's really what we're dealing with here. Now, I could use my calculator. And so I have that as well for us. Now, when you're dealing with your calculator, you have to remember there's certain things you do have to write down here. We do have to include the information. So I have for us the normal CDF. You're going to have to say what your lower bound is. So I'm going to pick a really big negative number, negative 100. I'm going to have to say what my upper bound is. And I'm going to have to say what my mean and my standard deviation are. So if I'm dealing with normal CDF, I can't just write down normal CDF. I have to make sure I identify negative 100 as my lower, 0 is my upper, 2 is my my mean, and 0.94 is my standard deviation. I do have to write that down if I'm going to deal with that. And if you type that in, you're going to get around the same answer. So in this case, our answer is approximately 0.17. So that's question 92. Really good one because you can look at table A, you can look at your normal CDF, also the order of subtraction, and combining variances, not standard deviation. So it is a really good problem. Hopefully this helped clarify it.